Right, welcome to another Spinato spin, and it's excited to be here this time of the year, right? Getting warm out, things are starting to get hot. You got to watch out whatever you're doing. Make sure it doesn't get scorched on you. Make sure things don't dry up. I'll tell you one thing. I told this story a while ago. Fits in perfectly what I'm going to cover tonight, and it's just going to be something that's going to, I hope, electrify your butt. Get yourself going. Get yourself thinking, wow, if that's true, this might really be something incredible. Well, let's start this way, okay? The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within us, right? Well, I told you a story a while back about acres of diamonds. Really, I'll go over it real quick. The first part of the story really is this gentleman wants to go out and find diamonds, okay? Because he's tired of farming, so he leaves his farm and he goes to find diamonds on the African continent. He looks all over the place, can't find the diamonds, in a fit of despondency, throws himself into the lake. He drowns. So, the story continues. We go back to the farm. We find an individual there that's taken over the farm, and he decides to take this rock that he found in a creek and put it on his mantelpiece. He has a visitor come along, and the visitor says, "Oh my God, look at this thing." He walks up to it, hefts it in his hand, and realizes it's one of the largest diamonds ever found on the continent. Well, the moral of the story is real simple, isn't it? You know, before you go out looking for diamonds, you got to understand what the farmer just did. He walked away from an acre of diamonds, a ton of diamonds, on his own farm, and he went out elsewhere looking for it. Well, my answer to you is, why do that when you have gold and riches within you? And within you, what I'm talking about tonight is going to tie it all together. It's something called self-talk. You see, all of our lives, we've basically been put in a position where people have talked to us. The problem is, we don't even realize what they've been saying to us and how it's affected us. See, self-talk is something real simple. Our mind works real easy, okay? It's not that complicated once you understand the basis of it. Basis of it is our subconscious mind takes anything you give it, and without any question, it just drops it in there. It drops it in without even questioning any beliefs. And over a period of time, our conscious mind starts to reflect on that subconscious mind and starts doing things that the subconscious mind has programmed in there. See, our mind works basically in 5 steps. And correct me if I'm wrong, at any point in time, think about your life as I'm talking. Number 1, we're programmed, okay? Number 2, there's the program right there, right? Programmed, conditioned, whatever it is, okay? Don't go near the hot stove, you're going to get your hand burned. Whatever it is, you're conditioned not to go near it, okay? So you're programmed not to go near the hot stove. Number 2, the next thing that happens through the programming, through the constant feeding of information, you start to develop beliefs. And now the beliefs, you're like an open field, an empty field, okay? Whatever you put in an empty field, whatever type of seed it is, it'll grow. And the growth that we're talking about is your belief. Your beliefs start growing. You start believing certain things. You know what happens when you start believing something? You get an attitude. You get an attitude like, that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's just the way I am. There's no doubt about it. That's who I am. That's the way he is. All of a sudden, all this programming, all this information that's coming to your mind and coming to your heart, your soul, everything's melted in there. Now you have an attitude. Well, what's an attitude without having feelings, right? Feelings. You know, I don't feel that way. I don't feel great about hanging out with that person because I don't like, you know, I don't have a good attitude about them. I don't like them. I don't feel right being with them, and nothing feels right for me. Well, where does that feeling come from? You know, one of the more powerful ways to get somebody's attention when you're trying to persuade them or trying to get them to your cause is to say, why do you feel that way? And you say, why do you feel that way? And now all of a sudden they say, well, it's not that what I said. It's really, why do I feel that way? Isn't it? And then all of a sudden your feelings, we all know that, right? I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like doing my homework. I don't feel like doing that. Well, all of a sudden it's your actions, isn't it? Your actions are driven by 5 things or 4 things, whatever I just mentioned. program, beliefs, right? Attitude, feelings. Bam, action. And we all know what happens from actions, right? We get results. Well, what I just told you basically was the keys to the kingdom there. Beliefs, action, results, right? It all comes together. It all ties together. Your attitude drives your feelings, and your feelings drives your actions. It's always going to be that way. The thing you got to do, though, is you got to get back to the first thing I talked about. Self-talk. You got to erase and replace anything negative. You say, well, I got no negative self-talk. Hey, everything's great. Well, here's the study. 80% of all the information we've had put into us in our lives and what most people think of on a day-to-day basis doesn't help us, and it's negative, and it doesn't get us anywhere near the person we want to be and the goals we want to reach. Self-talk is incredibly powerful. The key is you have to erase the old negative programs and start bringing in the positive programs. You know, it's almost like a bodyguard standing beside you when you're ready to wilt and fall apart and not do something. All of a sudden that self-talk comes along and says, I am a dynamic individual. I could talk to anybody at any point in time, and I have extreme confidence. Where did that come from? That came from the programming that you changed. Because you all of a sudden started dropping this positive information into your mind over and over and over again. People say, well, that won't work because I don't believe it. No. You don't get it. You already been programmed. You could be programmed once. You could be programmed again. You already took it. You already took the information in that wasn't true anyway. You know, any negative thought you have about yourself is probably not even true. You know, some people say, well, I'm not good at math. How do you know? Well, why do you say that? Well, I've taken one math test and I failed it. Oh, one math test? And who taught you? Oh, I don't know. I taught myself. Really? And that was it. That tells you right then and there you're not good at math. Think about it. Think about the stuff that you've accepted in your life and you don't even know if it's true. It's that simple. Work on self-talk. Find out more about it. Any information you want on it, pass on to me. I'll be glad to send you in some direction, some great self-talk. It's always super to talk to you. Always great to be here. And Spinato spins always for you. Go to the YouTube library and check it out. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.